Hey everyone, Artfinity here, and I am back with another drawing video. And this one's really interesting because it's also a review. And just to tell you a little bit about this, the company of Arteza actually reached out to me in an email, and they were asking, hey, would you be interested in going through our website and reviewing one of our products? And I mean, I'm kind of a person that's really skeptical about stuff like that because I'm like, oh yeah, personal information. Let's give that away like it's candy. And I also have the mindset of if it's free, what's wrong with it? But I actually looked through their website and it did seem like it was credible, so I took a chance. And now in hindsight, I'm really glad I did. In short, like if you want a 20-second review of this, I like these brushes. I think they're great. There you go, review over. But if you actually want more details about them, I can go over some of the things I've learned. So overall, we can talk about the product itself, and that's just these brushes. This is pretty much what you're getting. So they are artist quality brushes, and the good thing about them is that they are compatible with microns, Copic multiliners, and just zebra pens and like general pens. So if you do a lot of line art like me, whether it be for a manga related thing or just a lot of whatever else that needs line art, they do work great for that. And about the actual build quality, I do like the way they're made, because at first when I got them I thought the barrels were made of steel. I actually needed to flick them before I realized it was plastic. So yeah, they're a very sturdy product, which just for first impressions for me was great. It didn't feel cheap, and it's not cheap. And a good thing about the brush tip is it has like good snapback, so it bends back into shape, which is good. And also, they did send water brushes with it. They came in a set. This is also on their website, and honestly, these are the fanciest water brush pens I've ever seen. I think that they're really cool. They even come with their own dandy caps, so they pretty much have like a large and a small for all of the sizes. Like you can see here, they come in different sizes, and they're also very good. And I know that they sent them for the purpose of blending, and the good thing about that is that these Arteza pens do in fact blend. But just because I'm really bad with water brushes, I couldn't do it with water brushes. That's a personal fault of mine, it's nothing with the product. But I did find out that they work with normal brushes as well. So for anybody who uses watercolor and uses the water to actually blend and smooth out their drawings, you can do that with this. I just go in with a little bit of water for maybe the lines that have a little bit too hard of an edge, and it looks kind of like, it looks very, what's the word? Blocky? It looks very blocky, but you can actually fix that. I'm pretty sure you could do it with the pens if you're good enough as well. But I just went in later for the lines that were super harsh, just with a little bit of water on a normal brush, and it did blend out just fine. So it works like Watercolor does in that regard, which I think is awesome. And also, just about the paper that I used, I tested it with two different kinds of paper, and it's the Canson mixed media paper and the Bristol board mixed media paper. I found that the Canson one actually worked I found that the Canson paper actually worked better. The Bristol board kind of tore. Like, it had a little bit of a tooth, so when I went over it with water, it kind of pulled the paper apart. It's not really anything on the brushes. I would say that that's just the paper. So I would say if you're gonna get this product, Canson mixed media paper is a really good way to go. You don't want the paper fighting you. And overall, I did like the product. It's a good build. They don't feel cheap and they work. And the way I determine a good art supply is if it's not fighting me the entire time. It shouldn't feel like it's hard to use. It should be making my life easier if I want to draw something, and I shouldn't care about which supply I'm using. And if it's a hindrance to me, or I find it limits my creativity in any way, I don't consider it a good art supply. So that's my standard, and that's what I'm basing it off of. With that in mind, these brushes actually did really well. I did like the way that they were working. They didn't give me any problems, and even with this drawing, I wanted to have a practical use for it. This is actually a commission for someone named Bas van der Werf, which is a cool dude. And basically with this commission, and I'm not dumb, I didn't just like pull these out of the box and start coloring. I did do a test drawing first, and from there I kind of figured out how to use them, and then I went back in to the actual drawing I was working on. So there is a level of practicality to this. The best way to explain them is it's nice watercolor, and it's a good Copic replacement for people who don't have money to throw on Copics. They're very saturated colors, and an interesting thing about it is while I was working on the drawing, I found that they were a little too saturated sometimes, but you can fix that with dipping the actual brush pen itself into water. I don't know if it's recommended or if it destroys it, but it seemed to work fine for me. So you can actually use these like watercolors do. How about that? Watercolor pens and water. Fancy. But you can actually dip them in water, and then that'll actually dilute the color a little bit. So if you don't want the harsh colors that they sometimes can be, then that works really well. So yeah, I thought that that was really cool, and I guess the most important question that I would have is, would I keep using this product, and would I have used it if they hadn't have sent it to me? And the answer to both of those questions is actually yes. I did find that they saved me a lot of time. They look really nice, and I do actually like them. It is nice that they gave them to me for free, but I'm not going to give them like any slack for that. But I guess with pros and cons, the pros is that these work with microns and multiliners. They don't fade, they don't bleed through, they won't wrinkle your paper if you're being smart about it and don't pour a half a gallon of water on it. But they do really well with that. They do blend, and especially if you use a paintbrush, just with a little bit of water to blend, then that works really well. And yep, as far as cons, I would say that some of the colors tend to be a little too saturated, but like I was saying, it is fixable. You can just dip it in water and then it will dilute the color, and that helps out a lot. And yep, that's pretty much what I have to say about them. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope it was useful. It's something a little different, but I mean, it's drawing all the same to me. But hopefully you guys find the video enjoyable. I'll link these specific brush pens. I got the set of 48, and I'll also link a discount code because Arteza's being nice and giving discounts to people. So yeah, if you actually happen to get these brushes, you can probably save yourself like $2 or $3, and then, you know, go buy yourself a sandwich or mango juice or something. I don't know. You can get a new art supply and you can get a snack. To me, that's just nice. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. And if you want to keep up with what I'm doing these days, I'm actually streaming on Twitch on Tuesdays and Saturdays. I actually reviewed these live during one of my streams, and I had a lot of feedback, and people were telling me how I was using them wrong and what I should be doing, and it was great because I got to learn, even though I don't know anything about these. But I'll stop ranting now. I do like this product. It's really good. I would recommend it. I would just say that you need to have a foundation in watercolor of some kind to get the most use out of them. They're more of an intermediate supply. But yeah, that's all I got. I'll stop rambling now, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!